My name's Mrs. B and you've come to the Artlife YouTube channel to get creative. Now, today's lesson is awesome. I'm really passionate about this because it's all about creativity. A book called The Dot by Peter Reynolds is something that's inspired me to create this lesson for you today, to hopefully spark your creative mind, give you some inspiration for using your imagination and creating some really cool artworks. Now, I've done another lesson in a past video and actually read another book by Peter Reynolds called Sky Colour. He's fantastic at creating books to inspire art. And I'm going to read you this today and hopefully you can get inspired to create artworks that look like this. Now, I offer 3 options today: a collage, a painting and a construction task, and you'll notice that they're all in the shape of a circle or a dot, just like Peter Reynolds shows in the book called The Dot. Now, the idea of this task is not to copy what I've shown you here. I want to show you some tools and some ways that you could create your very own dot that is inspired by whatever matters to you, whatever you have at home. And so come along with me, and I really hope that you're able to get creative with this task no matter where you are.
Hi, I'm Noah. This is my painting inspired by the dot. Boom. Hi, I'm Xavier. I'm Noah's brother, and this is my painting inspired by the dot book. So much better than my brother's, as you can see. And I reckon you should comment down below whose is better.
An absolutely wonderful thing about this task is that you can literally use anything you have at home to create your version of a dot. Today I'll be going through 3 different things that I've considered when it comes to creating my dot and how I was inspired by them, and I'll use some different things from around the house. But when it comes to your design, please just use whatever you have available. Let's get started. The art lesson today is inspired by this wonderful book called The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. This is a really popular book, and after I read it, you might learn why. It really invokes creativity and shows you that art does not need to be exactly what the other person is doing. Let's have a read. The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the black paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Have you ever said that? Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There! Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was that little dot she had drawn. Her dot! All framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolours and set to work. Vashti painted and painted a yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots in many colours. Art is very much about experimentation. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colours with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank piece of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew a line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Please, sign it." What a fantastic and inspirational book. A few different things I learned from that book is that, number one, art is everywhere, and it doesn't have to be a perfect Picasso to be a wonderful artwork. Also, we can learn from other people. We can take inspiration from other people, and things like shapes and lines and colours can also be artworks. This book's also about creativity and experimentation and playing with an idea and creating different ways to portray it. And so today we're going to have a bit of a go at creating a dot just like Vashti did. But this dot can be any way you want it to be. So the dot is the subject, but you are the creator. And so you need to come up with your very own idea of how to portray your dot. So as I said, you can use whatever you have at home and let that inspire you in your creation.
Hi, my name's Sierra and this is my painting inspired by the dot. I use gum nut leaves and you can use whatever you have around the house. Make sure you say nice words in the comments and subscribe.
So today I'm going to show you 3 different types that I kind of think of with the stuff that I have at my house. And first of all, I'm going to be creating a dot out of paper. Now, I have so much paper in my house and I thought I might put it to good use today. I'm going to just start with a piece of white paper. This is an A4 piece of paper, and I'm going to be creating a really big dot on my paper here. So I'm going to start by cutting my first colour. Now, a dot or a circle is hard to draw. So you could either choose to have a go at drawing a big circle by yourself, or you might choose to use some other things that are around you to help with tracing, like this. Today, I'm going to try and draw my dot or my circle as big as I can. And I'm going to draw it because I understand that it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just all about having fun. I am, of course, going to try my very best though. I'm going to really cut as neatly as I can because I want to be proud of the work that I'm doing, so I'm going to put in the effort. Cool. Now, I could just leave it there and not complete anything else, but I'm all about adding detail and we do want to experiment as much as we can. So I'm going to continue to add layers with different colours. I'm going to get my glue. And this is just going to be the start. Now, I need to make a smaller circle to go inside my big circle. Like that. Someone else that really loves circles was the artist called Wassily Kandinsky. He actually created an artwork called concentric circles and he used it as a colour study. So he would look at how colours would work together. You can see that the green and the red really contrast against each other in this particular artwork. But Kandinsky created an artwork with circles inside circles inside circles. So that's sort of what I'm doing today for my dot. So instead of doing a circle for this one, I'm going to do a semicircle and see what that looks like. Now, in order to experiment, I thought I might now use some different scissors that I have to create a more jagged line. Can you see there? Rather than a straight one, and see how that changes my artwork. I like that. Now remember guys, this is how I've interpreted the task. You might have a completely different idea, and that is what this task is all about. Is using your brain, your creativity, your imagination to consider how to create this artwork. Oh, that's too big. How small do you think I can go? So that is my first interpretation of this task, using paper and using collage skills to create a circle inside a circle to create a very layered, detailed paper dot. Next, I want a bit of a dark background for this next one. So I am painting, oops, some paper in black watercolour. This isn't my dot obviously, but this is the background for my dot. Sometimes when you create a dark background and then put something bright over the top, it really makes those bright colours stand out. So that's why I thought I'd create a black background. I didn't have black paper, so I'm creating my own. There, I'll let that dry. Now that my background's dry, I'm going to utilise some fun things that I've got. You might have some old buttons and things like that from around the house, but if you don't, Zart sells a fantastic sort of bulk basics range. It's buttons, they've got different pom-poms and things like that. And today I'll be sticking them down with some Zart Super Tack. This is a really fantastic adhesive. When PVA doesn't work, when a glue stick doesn't work, Super Tack works. So for things like buttons and pom-poms that are sort of three-dimensional and can be bumpy, I find that this stuff works the best. So in keeping with the dot sort of circular style, I'm going to use these awesome little buttons and things like that and create it into a bit of a circular sort of motion. So I'll start off with a small dot there. Don't worry, the Super Tack dries clear. And I'm just going to build up a bit of a circle and go round and around with my found objects. I'll start off with some buttons. You don't need much of this stuff. So hopefully you can start to see why I painted the background black. The colours really pop against a dark background, as you can see. So it's getting a little bit quicker with the materials a little bit bigger, but you can see how colourful, how tactile, how fun it would be for young kids to do a task like this. I might do another layer of pom-poms and then I'll be done. That was fun. Don't forget to sign your name. So I've poured out some different colours here for my next dot experimentation, and I'm just using some acrylic paint that I have at home, and I'm going to just sketch out a circle for myself very, very lightly to give myself an idea of the shape that I want to create. Now, for my last dot, and what I would really encourage you to do if you're an art teacher or even if you're just a parent at home, what you could give your students or your children is an idea, a theme, a word to inspire their dot. For example, if you're at a school and you have some different values within your school, you could use the values as your theme to then inspire the creation of a dot. For example, it might be resilience, it might be compassion, and that could really get the children to think about how they could portray that within this shape. You could do family. You could do kindness. Today, I'm thinking I might do the theme of togetherness. And so I'm going to use the different colours here. I've got some cotton buds, and I'm going to create lots of different dots all working together, just like a community or a family. My last dot, and I hope that showing you 3 different versions of the same subject has inspired you to use your creativity to not copy what I've done, but to create your own version. And as a class, if a whole class is to create a dot in 30 different ways and then display them, it just looks absolutely phenomenal and really, really develops a great creative and imaginative mind. Can't forget to sign it. I hope I've been able to do justice to Pina Reynolds' beautiful book, The Dot, and inspire you to create your own version of this task. And please make sure that you tag me at Artlife Art Lessons on Facebook to show me how you've experimented with this task.
Don't forget to subscribe and do stuff that will help this channel. Yeah, do that.
So it's as simple as that. I really hope you've enjoyed watching me create dots today, as well as be inspired to create your own. Please make sure that you like this page and subscribe below for future videos, because I'll be adding lots to keep you creative wherever you are. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mrs. B and this is Artlife.
And until next time.